Good evening, everyone. Tonight, lawmakers are preparing to hit the state capitol. Tomorrow, around 5 o'clock, the special session gavels in, and then the pressure is on. As we hear from CBS 11's Matthew Simon, sometime in the next 60 days, they must decide whether or not to grant the request by TransCanada officials to build a gas pipeline. Matthew.
Well, Reagan, that is, of course, the objective on paper, but tonight, one lawmaker says some of his colleagues are already playing politics and trying to torpedo TransCanada's plan.
You know, I think it's just the wrong time to be playing politics. You know, people need to be statesmen at this point.
While Anchorage Democrat Les Garris says he's going down to the special session with an open mind.
In the hallways, we've heard that there are a number of legislators, like I've said, mostly the Republican leadership, many of them, who seem to be opposed to this proposal.
And Garris specifically finger-pointing at both the House Speaker and Majority Leader.
My big problem is when, you know, Representative Harris, Representative Samuels, some of these folks don't show up for a week of hearings to hear the governor's side of the story.
Well, you know what? The last time I checked, Les Garrett didn't speak for me, and I speak for him.
Samuels denied our interview request. Harris says he told the governor she should not have even held an AGIA forum.
Oh, why don't you wait and do it during the legislative session? But they wanted to do it themselves. They felt like they weren't going to get a fair hearing, I guess. I don't know what the problem was.
Lawmakers will not only be considering the so-called TC Alaska project the governor approved under the AGIA process, but also plans to build an all-Alaska line, which would ship North Slope gas to Valdez, liquefy it, and sell it to international markets. BP and Conoco's competing Denali plan is also likely to be discussed.
They're committing $600 million plus to get to open season. And you know that when they get to open season, it's going to be successful.
But Harris says despite what Garrett is implying, he has not made up his mind about any plan.
I really don't know where the votes are. I don't know if anybody knows where the votes are at this point in time. I hope people haven't completely made up their mind. I hope they'll listen to the issues, the facts, and try to determine, you know, as best their ability, what's right for Alaska.
And going into the special session today, the Tri-Borough Coalition's mayors, including Mayor Begich, sent a two-page letter not only to Speaker Harris, but also to Governor Palin and Senate President Lyda Green. It urges lawmakers to include what they call two vital components in this special session. First, what's called a spur line. Think of that as an extra line supplying South Central with natural gas and dedicating portions of gas line revenues to Alaska communities. AGIA hearings are scheduled to start Wednesday. Live in the newsroom, I'm Matthew Simon, CBS 11 News.
And speaking of Les Garrett tonight, he now has an opponent for the August primary.
But I was really inspired finally to run when the whole debacle of the letter he wrote on the behalf of the Democratic Party candidates, when he's sitting in the State House and he was the most vocal advocate for the changes in the ethical laws.
Good.
Christopher Constance was just one of the last 19 candidates to file by the 5 o'clock deadline in Anchorage today. Well, some other interesting races we're going to be watching. Senate President Lyda Green is facing a challenge by Mat-Su Borough Mayor Kurt Menard's wife, Linda Menard, House Minority Leader Beth Catrola, House Majority Leader Ralph Samuels, as well as longtime lawmakers Carl Gatto, Bill Stoltz, Mike Hawker, and Mike Chenault all have primary challengers. As far as the U.S. Senate race, Senator Ted Stevens faces 6 other Republicans, including Vic Vickers, who just filed today. Of course, for a complete list of candidates, go to the on-air links and information portion of KTVA.com and click on Alaska Division of Elections. By the way, the primary election will be held on August 26th.